Katowice, but I don't think he's ever performed better than top 12. So
Okay.
I do believe this is going to be his greatest performance here for the man in blue, hailing all the way from Germany. It is Big Gabe HeRoMaRinE.
And in the bottom left-hand side, from America, it is Neeb led, playing for Ting.
After Neeb actually failed the wall in the previous game, he now decided to not even attempt it anymore. It's like, you know what? These stupid walls and their advantages. Most Terrans are just going to play Marine first on this map anyway, because they kind of assume there to be a wall. Instead, Neeb just says, all right, I'll just get my gateway near my nexus, save a little bit of walking time, save a little money that way, and already start building a wall there for potential Hellion drops or something of the sort. Not the biggest fan of it, because I really do think one of the main advantages on this map is that beautiful Reaper wall, but we'll see what Neeb decides to do from here on out.
All right, we will see indeed, as he has managed to scout pretty early on here. So what are you looking for from the Protoss perspective with this scout?
Gas timings, barracks timing, if there is a barracks whatsoever. Of course, it's a possibility as well that there is no barracks at home, but this is all looking very standard. Right now, you're going to be going downstairs to try and block that command center. You will fail because Terrans are too good at getting there. Actually, might actually get a couple of seconds and might spot the Marine as well. This is the other thing you want to do, is you want to see, hey, is the Marine or a Reaper first? He's taking a lot of time away from the SCV. That's a 147 command center. That's a solid 8 seconds slower than you would expect. And this is a Marine into Reaper. This is actually a really funny looking mind game, or funny mind game. So what just happened here? Let me explain everything that happened in the past 25 seconds. HeRoMaRinE only sent a single SCV downstairs to build the CC. The reason he did that is because he wanted his opponent's probe to stay as long as possible. He wanted Neeb to see the Marine. Neeb, however, left before he saw the Marine. And because of that, Neeb isn't actually moving out with the Adept as soon as he could. Because usually versus Marine first, you move across the map with the Adept immediately. However, HeRoMaRinE went for a Reaper after Marine. And that was the entire mind game. The mind game failed, and now the Adept is at home, so this Reaper will not be able to do anything. And on top of that, this Reaper won't even be able to scout that there is a Stargate going up in the main base. So a very unfortunate situation here for the German player.
Yeah, very cute mind games though. If that Marine had shown up, like you were saying, the Adept moves out, all of a sudden the Reaper gets a clear scout and potentially even a probe killer too. So that would have been very nice. Now, unscouted Oracle, how dangerous can this be?
This has the potential to do disastrous damage. It could also fly into a mine. But we'll see which one of the two it will be. HeRoMaRinE's gonna scout it. He just runs into the main base and doesn't get a probe kill, but at least gets the information. Immediately responds with a tech lab on that factory. And now if this Oracle gets more than one kill, I'd be surprised. I'd say I'd eat a shoe, but there is a bad precedent there in the StarCraft scene, so I'm not gonna go for that.
Yeah, let's not do that. At some point, I was gonna get tattoos if something happened with... Oh, if Eric beat Kelasur, me and Rotterdam said we'll get matching tattoos. But then it was 3-2. It was so close, actually. It was so scary.
What were you guys gonna get? Do you know? Do you remember? Or?
I don't remember. Like it was inspired by Jim Rising, so maybe something of the to the extent of we said an arm what is it called? A sleeve tattoo.
An entire sleeve?
Yeah, but we didn't decide on the... Yeah, I mean, sleeves are cool, you know? I've been considering sleeves anyway.
Sure, but that sounds like a big thing to bet on, no?
For sure, yeah. But I mean, Eric to take out Kelasur?
Yeah, I mean, weirder things have happened in StarCraft, my friend.
That is true. That is true.
We have a... Ooh, what is this? Is this looking like a... This is looking like a Marine, a 1-1-1 push, isn't it? This is looking an awful lot like a 1-1-1 push. Okay. There's a lot of factory units, a lot of starport units being produced. This is kind of dangerous for Neeb, honestly. He does have triple gate. He has a lot of air units. He's getting stalkers, adding a couple of zealots as well. This is the... Ooh, this Marine drop. There's a battery in the main, though. It's not going to work. It's not going to do much.
At least it's gonna go unspotted, and the Phoenixes are gonna be completely out of position for this. that will get taken down right away. Spotting is further down on the side of HeRoMaRinE, so Neeb will be aware of what he's doing. Here comes the drop. 8 Marines will unload onto the main base, but like you said, there is a shield battery there, not able to DPS anything down just yet. And at the same time, Neeb will recognize this and pounce onto the army instead. One of the Cyclones goes down, the other one's not being microed as well as it could be, not being focus fired either. So it will get some damage done, but what the real story is happening in the main, I guess, where the Phoenixes have now repositioned, and that was a very clean defense from Neeb.
Yeah. HeRoMaRinE actually forgetting to unload 2 of the Marines in the main base the entire time through had a big impact on how easy that defense was for Neeb. Also deciding to focus 2-3 probes down and realizing, wait a second, this battery is just gonna heal those. Cost him valuable like 2-3 seconds. I actually think that 4 or 5 workers potentially could have gone down, and if 4 or 5 workers go down there, I don't even mind the position too much for HeRoMaRinE. Even now I don't really mind the position for HeRoMaRinE. He's on a single eBay, he has a tank out, actually he has 2 tanks out, he still has a Cyclone, and he already has a 3rd CC. Like, is this really that bad here for HeRoMaRinE? He's very close in workers, he is up in income by quite a bit because of how mules work, and he's fine in upgrades and infrastructure. If he would have gotten 5 workers, I'd actually argue he's in a pretty decent spot, he's pretty far ahead.
Yeah, at the same time, resources lost tell a different story. It seems like Neeb would be or should be far ahead. So why do you think that's not the case? What does Neeb have going for him? Is it those upgrades that he's banking on for later in the game or something? Seems like Big Gabe is keeping up there too.
Well, I mean, Neeb did delay his tech a fair amount, and he also delayed his 3rd base a fair amount. There was a lot of units out before that 3rd went down, so even though Big Gabe lost a lot, his eco just is a little bit more powerful right now. We see that represented in the supply as well, right? 101 supply for Big Gabe against 87.
Yeah.
The gateway count isn't actually that good for Neeb. He's on 3 gateways. Yes, he has a lot of tech, but if HeRoMaRinE can hit with his combat shield, with his stim, and with his +1, before this gate influx comes into play, before the RoboBay comes into play, this might actually be kind of dangerous. What does Neeb actually have that can fight? The answer is nothing. He has 5 Stalkers and 3 Sentries.
Yeah, these Phoenixes are doing what they can on the other side of the map, but this is going to be a quick move out and a quick positioning from HeRoMaRinE onto Neeb's 3rd. He will get spotted by the Oracle, and there is that classic Immortal that Neeb seems to like and favor a lot. But like you said, there's not really any more fighting units aside from that. The Force Fields are going to be super important, and there they are. They're good. The battery will get focused down. The Phoenixes are coming in and trying to position over the tanks. Will drag some Mind Fire onto the bio, so that's a little bit nice for Neeb. But if this Immortal goes down, then things are going to get very difficult here.
Yeah, tanks dealing so much damage here. +1 finishing for HeRoMaRinE was a big deal. That armor not quite finished yet for Neeb. He doesn't have charge, he doesn't have blink yet either. These Zealots are slow as snails right now. Oracle is gonna go down, and I think with the reinforcements, HeRoMaRinE will be able to take game number 1 in this best of 3, putting himself 1 map away. However, this Colossi is showing up for the supply in favor of HeRoMaRinE, and these are Marauders, these are tanks. I don't think Neeb can quite break this.
Yeah, I mean, he's just getting Zealots just to tank the initial shots at the front, not even hoping to do any damage with them, just meat for the Colossus, but it will be taken down regardless, and GG will be called by the American. And game 1, like you said, goes to HeRoMaRinE.
Yeah, game 1 indeed goes to HeRoMaRinE as... Yeah, this is kind of what I meant. When HeRoMaRinE decides to move across the map, he tends to win the game, and even though none of his harassment did anything, it even felt like his entire push failed, he somehow knows that he's ahead, killing 0 workers, losing double the units lost of his opponent. He just moves across the map, says, hey, I don't think you have enough tech, buddy. Good luck. Have a nice battle, and he just kind of wins the game here. Nice positioning here on Oxide, of course, as well, behind those rocks. No Colossi out, no charge, no Archon, no Storm, no nothing. We're going to be heading into game number 2 on a map we haven't seen yet today, and it's going to be Blackburn, cats.
Oh, I was hoping for Beckett. But I'll take Blackburn. Blackburn is pretty cool too. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one. How does this map fare in TVP, Kevin?
Good question. It's a question that
veto
is
it?
difficult to answer. It tends to get vetoed by one side or the other. Both disliked by Terrans and Protosses around the world. I think most Protosses actually really do dislike it though. Line base is a possibility, but there's such an open main base still for drops. difficult to keep control of the map, and fort base very far away as well. So yeah, I think it's slightly Terran favored, but with how Neeb has been playing, very Stargate focused, I don't actually mind this map too much if you're playing Stargate, honestly.
All right. So we'll see if that's the case again. It seems to be the case also for Neeb that he is consistently delaying his tech in favor of that Immortal. He's not getting the charge very early. He's not getting the blink very early. And this seems to be somewhat of a trend, right? Is this something that becomes exploitable from the side of HeRoMaRinE?
I think last game is different than the other game. So before he had relatively low eco and went the Immortal because he was behind and he wanted something to kind of survive more as of a band-aid. But in the last game, he was very rich comparatively. He was getting a lot of tech, and he was like, I don't really need observers right now, so while my Roboboy is building, I can still afford an Immortal. I don't think that delayed his follow-up tech as much. I think it more was actually just added safety. I actually think that becomes less exploitable than as if he wouldn't have gotten it, if anything. So I didn't mind the Immortal in the last game. I just think he might have been a little bit too tech heavy and a little bit too slow getting into charge. Charge in these situations can be very huge.
All right, we'll see if that's the case. Yeah, he has been delaying tech or charge at least consistently. The upgrades unfortunately didn't come into play for him, and on that map in particular on Oxide, I think that if he gets a massive amount of gateway units, maybe he floats onto the very open third area with mass charge slots, kind of like he did against Clem, and that maybe was his timing at 2-2 or something of the likes, but didn't even come close to that. So I'm curious to see what Big Gabe is going to do here, as we already have a oddly rallied SCV.
Is it eBay block, no?
I see.
I think so, at least. Well, I'd be surprised if it's anything but an eBay block. It's going to be an eBay block with a barracks before gas, though. So at the start of this year, eBay blocks were very popular, and we would always see them with gas first. Straight into Marine, fast factory. This is not actually an eBay block. This is... I don't know what this is. It's just... What? Wait, what?
Oh, man. Didn't need the eBay block, I guess. Just the SCV is going to be enough to deter Neeb from taking that low ground expansion. Didn't want to delay his Nexus any further, I suppose.
I can't imagine this is a good call.
Difficult to believe that it would be.
Yeah. I'm a little bit shocked here. I don't know why he would do that. And on top of that,
probe right away? Was that the right call for you?
Yeah, just send a second probe immediately. The thing is that he was planning on playing Nexus before core as well. He went gas before gateway as he went for no scout. So right now his core is delayed by 8 seconds compared to a regular core first. So this adept isn't even going to do something. He could have just... I have no clue why he did that. I do not understand it.
Yeah, from the Terran side of things, how do you exploit this? Do you go Hellions? I mean, he could have made an extra Reaper or something, perhaps.
I think you just continue playing as normal, and the other guy's just losing money as he's rallying towards that third base. Anything that requires defense in 2 bases is going to be good. Like this Reaper, here we go. 1 worker going down already. This is an awful situation for me. Just terrible. Not the greatest control out of HeRoMaRinE, I have to admit. I think that second probe could have gone down, and that Reaper should have lived a bit longer, but... I am baffled by this decision out of Neeb. And yeah, we need to see how this works out now. I mean, he's just down in minerals because of this. The workers take longer to walk there. He lost a worker as well. And HeRoMaRinE can just continue playing as normal. I like that he's getting a Hellion. He's going to go triple Hellion. I think this is a brilliant build order. Triple Hellion, 7 Marine. And he can decide to do 2 things. He can either drop the Marines into the main base and run the Hellions into the third, or he can walk the Marines across the map, pretend to do a frontal push, and then drop the 3 Hellions into the main base. Like, there's a lot of variations here, and it is so difficult to defend this if your bases are split like this. I am having a hard time seeing this work. I'm having an extremely hard time seeing this work.
Yeah, and the big problem here, of course, is going to be... Of course, he needs a shield battery as well. Not sure that he would have needed that shield battery if the main or if the base was at its natural base. But yeah, I mean, if he had kept that Reaper alive too, Big Gabe, that is, he could have had a third avenue of attack, right? Where he can do a 3-pronged attack even, and that would be very difficult, I think, for Neeb to contend with. As it stands, I mean, these Hellions are still gonna harass from the north side of the map, and we're likely to see. Actually, it's a Raven coming up instead of a medevac drop from Big Gabe.
Yeah, he decided to go only for 2 Hellions. I don't even mind that. If there was no battery here, these guys would have provided a lot of freaking value. Still will be able to provide some value. Taking out 1 worker already, 2nd worker should go down. Yep, these are big shots. HeRoMaRiNE is microing this in a fantastic manner. I'm absolutely in love with the way he's playing this game. And Neeb with some a slightly questionable decision of taking that 3rd base here, but let's move on from there. What can he still do here? He's taking a 3rd gas. He has a prism on the map. We're seeing a similar opener as he did versus Time in that 1st game. This time, however, his 3rd base is extremely delayed. He didn't start his charge yet either, and HeRoMaRiNE is just in position. I don't think Neeb can dish out damage that is even remotely similar to what he did against Time. And if that isn't the case, right now we have 43 workers against 41. That is heavily in favor of the Terran player.
Yeah, this is pretty cool from Neeb, though. 4 Stalkers on either side looking for SCV kills here, potentially. The 4 Stalkers in the natural will go in, will not blink forward, so that they can blink out instead, and we'll get 1 SCV and 1 Marine for his troubles. Also, blink feels like he was almost forced into it, right? To try and solve for the fact that his bases were so split. At least it helps with that, it helps with the mobility. And that's, I mean, that's one decision that he could have made that I think was a good decision.
Oh, this is the HeRoMaRiNE special. This is 3 Rex tank, but the Rexes don't get tech labs, and I think he's actually giving Neeb a chance here to perhaps come back. But on the other hand, what does Neeb really have? Neeb has nothing. Neeb right now has 4 Stalkers at home. There's 1 Immortal. Battery's about to finish up in the natural. Good scan forward out of HeRoMaRiNE. There's a Banshee. There's 2 tanks, and there's a crap ton of Marines. More rallying across the map right now. There is potential to transition out of this for HeRoMaRiNE, but usually you at least want to do some type of damage, and Neeb's actually in an okay position. Big blink forward? He's targeted. Was this good? I don't think it was.
I don't know. Maybe if he can take that tank in the back as well, that would be good enough, but no, won't be able to. And with that, the bunker will be guaranteed to go up as well. Good job from Neeb, at least cutting reinforcements here, but a lot of those Stalkers are low. Big Gabe has to be a little bit careful himself, but he is going to continue to push on forward. 2 Immortals now out, and with this blink forward, I'm not sure if that was necessary, seeing as the Immortals were much more efficient at taking the tanks, and now the Banshee is kind of uncontested. But at least the army of Big Gabe is whittling down, and with this flank coming back from Neeb, he will be able to clear this comfortably, I think.
He should not be going yet. He needs to wait for a charge lot warp in. Get 4 extra charge lots. You have the Stalkers in the back to deny that run back. I think right now he could jump on top of this bunker though with the Immortals as it's not being defended anymore. He shouldn't let his army escape. No, there's a lot of units there free.
Yeah, I really thought he would collapse onto this. I'm not sure why he would need to wait at all either. Like, it feels like the bunker is a non-factor with the Immortals, no?
I think it would have been not a great trade. I think he could have traded basically for free against all of these units, so not really a trade. It just would have been like taking these dudes.
Like,
now
like
the chart
dice, I think.
Yeah. Now these chart lots are in the main. It's really weird. I'm not quite understanding why HeRoMaRiNE went for the build that he did. He perhaps wasn't expecting a Neeb not playing this passive. I mean, Neeb took his 3rd base after 4 gates and an Immortal. Right now, Neeb is actually moving across the map. There's no stim, there's no combat shield. Blinks forward. Charge lots are doing a lot of damage in the main base. Charge lots are doing a lot of damage in the natural, and somehow, some way, Neeb is dishing out the damage right now, and HeRoMaRiNE is on the receiving end.
Yeah, that's a lot of Marines still, and they're about to get stim as well, so maybe they can chase and punish these Immortals. That would be some semblance of a win for HeRoMaRiNE, but he has to deal still with some Zealots in his main. Alright, the Stalkers will get pushed back, the Immortals will be taken down, but like I said, there's still 23 SCVs that have gone down on the side of Big Gabe.
Yeah. Oh, this is a very rough game for Big Gabe. After the massive lead that he created for himself in the early game, all he needed to do was push out with 3 racks, stim and combat shield. Instead, what he wanted to do is he wanted to punish Neeb, who we expected to play greedy after that bad opener. Neeb, however, played overly safe and managed to kind of pull himself back into the game. The fact that Neeb had to kill 26 workers and still basically have the game not be completely over is a testament to how far ahead Big Gabe was earlier.
Yeah, but now he finds himself in a difficult position. I mean, the supply, I don't think, tells the whole story, as Big Gabe doesn't really have a third. I think Big Gabe needs to make something happen. Fully saturated on 3 base now is Neeb. And this is going to be a tall task. This would be a good start for Big Gabe if he can get that robo, and he will be able to. The battery overcharge will also be spent for nothing, and a few Marines will likely get lost there. At the same time, Big Gabe will get pushed back at the third base of Neeb as well. So all in all, I mean, the robo is lost. The second Colossus doesn't make it out, but again, a hold from Neeb.
Yeah, and this is a pretty convincing hold out of Neeb. Took out some medevacs as well, which is always going to help if you deny that medevac count from rising up too high. Makes the drops less interesting as well for Big Gabe. Yeah, I mean, Big Gabe has one push left in him, right? His barracks on the natural don't even have any tech labs. They don't have reactors. There's just no add-ons there for him. Vikings being produced. I think I saw a Liberator initially queued up, and here come the boys. This is it for HeRoMaRinE. If he wins this game here, he advances on to the round of 8. But if Neeb holds, he still has one more chance to make it himself. 1-0 right now for HeRoMaRinE. How many Vikings is there on the map? There's a single Viking. 2 more Vikings are on the way. SCVs are moving forward. I think this Colossi is going to be absolutely vital in this defense.
All right, there is a lot of Churchills as well. I'm a little bit surprised that Neeb is actually going on the counter offense with everything. What? All right, I mean, that is very surprising. I feel like he should just pull back his charge slots and try to collapse onto the army of HeRoMaRinE. I think he had plenty here. Instead, he's going to go for a base race, and he's going to be the second one hitting, but at least he has an extra base to buffer for. A very odd choice from Neeb, who will now have his both of his robos exposed as well. And now it feels like anyone's game, Kevin.
Yeah, it's gonna be very positional at this point. There is 3 Archons taking out a couple of Marines here. This is a huge deal. Good job out of Neeb, who also managed to save a couple of workers. Still has a lot of money in the bank. You know what? I don't even mind this call. He says, if I am in a position where the tanks aren't sieged, I will be able to win. If I save a couple of probes and get a nexus somewhere else on the map, just force a base trade, I should be able to always win. Because let's be real here. With thermal lance, with this Archon count, look at the army of HeRoMaRinE. It's 32 Marines and it's 2 Marauders. If that tank isn't sieged up, there's no way in hell it's gonna be able to fight.
And even if that tank is sieged up with the number of zealots that Neeb has, it's gonna be splashing its own units too. So yeah, things are looking very good for Neeb here. He does have to reposition to kind of situate that new base that he has taken at the north at 12 o'clock. So we'll see if he's able to do that. This might be the final engagement here, as the Archons are looking to collapse onto this army. But Neeb actually thinks better of it. I'm not sure what's holding him back, but here we go. This looks like it's it.
Yeah, Colossi falls, but there's so many Archons in this army. A couple of SCVs coming from the right side, but the SCV flank not quite what it used to be back in the day. Marauder is gonna go down against these charge blocks. Neeb not hitting with everything at the same time, but I don't think it's going to matter. There's more Zealots and Archons than there is Marines at this point. Blinks forward to snipe single Marines. Neeb takes game number 2 after an amazingly bad start for him. Manages to take it back, and Big Gabe's got to be feeling a little bit bad about himself, because he was in a position to finish this series and to have the potentially best performance in his entire lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, he's still one shoe in the door, you could say, right? Both of these players now 1 game away from advancing to that very important round of 8. Now, I'm still puzzled by the decision to go for the base trade. In retrospect, obviously, it worked out for Neeb, but do you feel like that was an unnecessary risk, or do you feel like, he knew it's just, it's just done?
Maybe staying at home was the unnecessary risk.
Mm.
There was a lot of units there, and I think this was a pretty safe call, actually. It was an unorthodox call, but not necessarily a bad one, I believe. It's hard to say exactly, because he didn't have those 3 extra Archons, which made a huge difference in the final fight. Don't forget that. He didn't have those 3 Archons. If he wanted to defend there, what he would have needed to do is to use the super battery, and I don't think the Archons would have been ready for that. Let's not forget that he also killed like 10 Marines for free with 3 Archons. So there was a lot of things during the base trade that went well for Neeb, and he did have a lot of money. He had probes on the map. He was more mentally prepared for the base trade than HeRoMaRinE was, and I think that kind of showed. HeRoMaRinE being a little slow with lifting his buildings as well. I don't think he could really believe that anyone would do this, because it is extremely unorthodox. Right now we're waiting for you to join the lobby, actually. I was wondering As per
I was wondering
usual.
what we're waiting for.
And as you enter, the countdown starts. We're here, map number 3. It is indeed 2000 atmospheres as predicted by the wise men from the east. We have the final game, the final series of the day, and the final series for us here of the DreamHack Masters Summer Seasonal Finals. Did you enjoy yourself, cats?
Yeah, you too, Kevin, and hope that everyone watching is also enjoying this, as it has been an amazing 2 days of games here. We covered groups A and D, the best groups, of course. And now we have the final match, like you said, and spawning in the top right-hand side of the map as the blue Terran player with more or less 11 years of mouse sports under his belt. It is Large Gabriel.
And in the bottom left, spawning as the Red Brothers player, playing for Ting. It's going to be Neeb.
Who wins this
I have no clue. I actually have no clue. I'd be feeling good if I was Neeb, though. I'd be feeling... Oh! Gas first, eBay block. Now this is a strategy. You know what the hard counter is to eBay block?
What is it?
It's a gateway on the low ground.
Well,
this is not good. This is really not good.
This is really not good. And is that the counter because
you're Neeb
really fast? The seller is just closer?
No, you just pull 4 workers. You can pull 4 workers.
You just spotted much earlier? Or?
Yeah, you spot it immediately. So you just pull 4 workers and the eBay doesn't work. You should pull a second probe down already immediately. Yeah, I mean, this can't be an eBay block anymore. Right now, this is so bad for HeRoMaRiNE. Right now, he basically just sent out a very fast... Oh my god, gets the Nexus down. This is not good. The reason why this is so bad is because playing gas first is already really expensive for the Terran. And it tends to limit the options. Sending out a fast SCV is also very expensive for Terran. Doing both of these things at the same time, like... I have no clue how he's going to afford anything. I just don't understand how you can build anything at this point as a Terran. You're so poor in the early game. Managing to squeeze out a bunker here would be miraculous. He's going to be going for a quick factory and will most likely be following this up with reactored Hellions. I think Neeb knows this though. I'd be surprised to see anything but a Stargate opener in this game. I'd be shocked, appalled, and all different words that I don't even know what they are in English if we would see anything but a Stargate. And we see a Warp Gate opener. He's going to get a Twilight.
Oh, he got a Twilight. Comment, please.
Confused. I don't know. There's no comment. He's going to lose a worker most likely as well. If HeRoMaRiNE manages this Reaper well, he should at least get 1 worker. Yep. Should also escape and actually sees the deck. Poor Micro with the Adept. And almost loses a 2nd worker because of it. Is it going to be Proxy DT? No, he's looking for a Proxy Starport. With his probe, he's looking for a Proxy Starport. For a second I thought he wanted to proxy something himself, but that is not the case here. I'm surprised to not see a Stargate, but I'm curious to see what Neeb has planned. Is it just going to be straight up Blink?
Right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Blink, but is it 4-gate Blink? Is it 2-gate Blink? Is it 3-gate Blink? Does he invent a new build and it's going to be a single-gate Blink? All of these are possibilities right now, and I don't know what it is going to be.
Looks like single-gate Blink is the build for the time being. Now, when are we looking for the next gateways? They would have to be pretty soon, you would imagine. Robo?
It's a Robo.
Right. Now here comes the Stalkers, an extra gateway being added, or here come the Hellions rather, blocked by a Stalker at the natural base of Neeb. The Reaper will manage to go back into the base. There is still no shield battery there. The Stalker will be forced to reposition, and the Hellions might have an opening, now blocked by a pylon, I think, at the natural base, or a shield battery instead. So, nicely handled there by Neeb, but, I mean, not really, right? He loses 2 probes, so...
Yeah. Neeb is going for the 4-gate Blink, and this is what we call an illegal play. This is absolutely not allowed against what he scouted, but because he didn't see a starport on the left side, I think he decided to go for the Robo before a 2nd gateway. If he's playing against a 4 Hellion drop with starport, which would hit about 10 seconds ago, he would have had a single Stalker at home. A single Stalker against 4 Hellions without batteries, he would have straight up lost the game. And he didn't scout it. That's why what he did here is an illegal play. But he got away with it. The cop wasn't paying attention. And right now, it's all on HeRoMaRinE. Does he scout what is happening here? Can he see the prism? He sees the lack of a third base. That's a big indicator. He sees a lot of Stalkers on the map. But does he know this is 4-gate? Or does he think it might be a 2 or 3-gate move out? Or even a fake move out into something like a Robo Bay? I think HeRoMaRinE is aware of what's happening. Well, actually, is he? No bunker on the high ground. Not a single tank here.
Yeah, there's actually 2 mines in production right now. That might help out a little bit if they can get situated before Neeb's first blink in. But we also saw Neeb not commit to his prior 4-gate aggression. So we'll see if he's... Oh, that is actually slipped by! But one of them takes an extra shot and the Stalker will be able to clear it out. Therefore, the Hellions will not be able to do much. Quick repair there from Big Gabe on the bunker on the low ground. And now, these mines could be deadly if Neeb manages to blink on the high ground.
Oh, could also take out the Prism if Neeb isn't paying attention. Neeb is paying attention. Does take a little bit of damage though with the Prism. Fake blinking into the main base, tries to take out the bunker and succeeds. Now that there's no tank here, this could be very dangerous because it means every single time that Neeb moves forward with these Stalkers, he actually forces out a stim. Once again, the transition here out of Neeb is a little bit faster than I would have imagined it would be. After seeing there's no tanks and you just take out the bunker, I don't mind seeing another Stalker warp in here on the other side of the map. Instead, he goes for an Immortal and a third base. Delays his Robo Bay.
Tell me what's going on.
I don't know. Neeb is playing very different from anything we have seen before. He is delaying Robo Base. He is not warping in Stalkers, and he still is seemingly making it work. He's about to lose the Prism, though. Big pickup here. Huge pickup, and right now this is going to... Yeah, this is a trigger. This is a trigger.
Hey.
If HeRoMaRinE moves across the map 90% of the time, he straight up wins the game. Last game he moved across the map and didn't win. Guess what the odds tell us for this then? There's going to be a semi-base trade with these Stalkers, but I think the reinforcement out of Big Gabe should be good enough to deal with this. What is there at home for Neeb? Is this enough?
I mean, he's dropping a shield battery at the third right now. That's gonna be a little bit helpful. These Stalkers are likely gonna be recalled if they can't run back in time. But it's mostly Stalkers. These force fields are going to be essential for Neeb. He lands 2 good ones, actually, and fights only a sectioned off part of the army. The shield battery in the back, I'm not sure if Big Gabe was aware of that. The Immortals not getting to shell away at the Marauders like they would like, unfortunately, for Neeb for the time being. This is a very close fight, actually, as the tank is not participating for Big Gabe. But it looks like with the empowering of the pylon and the pulling of the probes, Big Gabe is trading effectively now.
Even without fighting with combat shield at the start of that fight, it seemed like HeRoMaRinE just simply has too much. No heal being used there on the pylon. Definitely was a possibility. A lot of Stalkers are blinking forward right now, though. These reinforcements might be able to hold, but look at the workers lost. 16 workers have gone down. Blink forward on top of the tank. Immortal goes down as well. Good target fire out of HeRoMaRinE. Another medevac shows up, but also needs to evacuate immediately. Reinforcements are stimming forward, and HeRoMaRinE is smelling blood in the water.
It really is. It doesn't feel like the target firing on the side of Neeb was good enough, and this force field barely missing as well will cost Neeb like those units not killed, essentially, right? Like 6 units alive for HeRoMaRinE that should be dead right now, and now force fields wasted and useless sentries on the side of Neeb, who's trying to trade and leverage his shields as best as he can before the inevitable Gabe shows at his door.
2 tanks already out on the map, 3rd tank making its way across the map. Right now, Neeb wants to counter-attack, but if he would send out 2 Zealots, that would be the majority of the DPS he has in his main army, so I wouldn't really suggest it. There is a Colossi out already. There's another Colossi on the way. What's happening with Thermal Lance? There's just simply no money for Thermal Lance. Is there charge? There's no charge. He just keeps warping in Zealots, but Zealots without charge, that's not going to be it, my friend. Zealots are only good because of charge. They're just way too slow. Concussive shells are here as well, have been researched. Colossi doing a lot of damage though.
Yeah, the Zealots are going to serve as a buffer for the 1 Colossus, soon to be 2. Neeb really needs to hold on until then at least. There's maybe a little bit of a counterattack / just cutting reinforcements from Neeb here. If he can find those, that would be really useful for him. But the Watchtower vision will make it very difficult for him to do that at this angle.
Big Gabe is making sure... sorry?
Big Gabe pulled back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he just wants to regroup and go again in a bit. Get like 3-4 more Marauders, get another tank in. And I think these Stalkers were there to catch a potential drop, right? We saw, who was it? Clem that did it against Neeb in the last series. So I think Neeb was like, all right, that's not going to happen to me again. Not again on 2000 atmospheres. So instead he decides to position his Stalkers there. Neeb is really making this work for him, right? He has almost no tools. He's hammering nails right now, and all he has is a shoe, but he's trying his best. It's 5 tanks, though. I mean,
seems like too many. This position with the rocks there is also going to be very annoying for Neeb to deal with and to flank with or to connect with the tanks in any way from the Zealot. So the tanks are now going to be tucked in behind these rocks as the rest of the army tries to inch on forward. Neeb knows that he cannot fight it right now, so he preemptively force fields. He still has a few force fields to be used, but at this point he has to use them to section off some part of the army as it goes in. Maybe now is the opening as Big Gabe is going after the Nexus. The battery overcharge is used from Neeb and will heal his Nexus back to full shields at least.
If Neeb at least had Thermal Lancer, perhaps he could do something right now. I'm not too sure. Good blink for her, though. We'll be able to take out a lot of these Vikings. Micro on the Colossi is good. There's a lot of Marines in this army and they're falling rapidly, but I think the units on the side of Neeb are falling way quicker. GG gets called. HeRoMaRinE advances on to the final 8 here. The DreamHack Masters Summer Seasonal Final.